and his Stepford wife, Gates, want to destroy the Marine Corps. Let's go now to clip 25.
Looking ahead, I do think it is proper to ask whether large-scale amphibious assault landings along the lines of Incheon are feasible. I've therefore asked the Secretary of the Navy, Ray Mabus, and the Marine Corps leadership to conduct a thorough force structure review to determine what an expeditionary force in readiness should look like in the 21st century.
Oh, really? Keep going.
All of the military services have been challenged to find the right balance between preserving what is unique and valuable in their traditions, while at the same time making the changes needed to win the wars we are in and to prepare for likely future threats in the years
now,
and
let me ask you something. To win the wars we are in, we've been in Afghanistan for 9 years, we haven't won it. We're about to pull out of Iraq, and all hell is about to break loose. So these theories that these wonderful geniuses in the defense establishment have all failed, haven't they? This is not your father's generation of defense secretaries when they were called the Department of War. Because that's what a defense secretary is. A Department of War. They should know how to win a war if they engage in a war. The first rule that I learned as a kid was never get into a fight you can't win. How come these guys get into fights and they refuse to win them? It's not that we couldn't win them. We could have won in Iraq more definitively than we have. And we could win in Afghanistan more definitively than we have because we've lost in Afghanistan. It's gone south because of Gates. It's gone south because of these idiotic policies that these people keep coming up with. You ask the men on the ground who are actually taking the bullets. You ask them what they think about Iraq and Afghanistan. You ask them how they think the wars should have been fought or should be fought or whether we should get out of there altogether. Again, you rarely hear their voices. You never hear their voices. Their voices are suppressed by the government media complex. Let's hear the next clip from Robert Gates.
A line I invoke time and again is that experience is the ability to recognize a mistake when you make it again. 4 times in the past century, the United States has come to the end of a war, concluded that the nature of man and the world had changed for the better.
What is this rubbish?
And turned inward, unilaterally disarming and dismantling institutions important to our national security.
What?
In the process, giving ourselves a peace dividend.
Wait, stop for that minute. This garbage was written by some pacifist lunatic that he's mouthing like a marionette. Listen to what the man just said. 4 times in the last century, America has come to the end of the war and concluded the nature of man had changed for the better. You're telling me the nature of man has changed for the better after 9/11? And we dismantle institutions important to our national security in the process of giving us a peace dividend. What peace dividend? We've been at war for the last 15 years. Now listen to 28.
Starting in June, we embarked on a sustained, multifaceted effort to move America's defense institutions toward a more effective, efficient, and cost-conscious way of doing business. Earlier this week, I announced an initial set of major decisions designed to reduce duplication, overhead, and excess in the defense enterprise.
That's wonderful. That's terrific. Cut out the defense crooks and leave the Marine Corps alone. Why does Obama want to destroy the U.S. Marine Corps? Gates is not making this decision. He's simply enacting the decision of the lunatics from Harvard University who hate the military. There is a reason that they are going after the Marine Corps. And the reason is quite obvious to anyone who has a pair of eyes. Robert in New York, WOR, your opinion, please.
Hey, Dr. Savage. Yeah, figure this. Here it is. They're trying to make the military weak already by rewarding soldiers for not shooting, right?
Yeah.
Then you have, they're trying to shrink the Marines down to create maybe a possible private army under which Obama and his stooges can control, right?
God forbid. I don't think that they would have the nerve at this time to create the private army that Obama promised. I don't think he'll do the SA yet. No, not yet. But I will tell you this, if there were a Marine Corps, they would never do it. You follow where I'm going here?
Yeah.
The army is too muddled in order to stand up to a private army, the creation of a private army. The army has no cohesion. Let me put it to you that way. Let me define it a little better. The army has no true cohesion as an organization. The Marine Corps has tremendous group cohesion. Tremendous group cohesion, and may I add, it's predominantly white males. May I say that again, in case you missed the point, Robert?
Yeah.
May I say that once again? The Marine Corps is the real deal. It's the real McCoy. And the radical left-wing scum in this administration, the radical left-wing vermin, haters of America, ever since the Clinton administration, because I remember some of these rat women from the Clinton administration were targeting the Marines. They were sneering at them. They were saying, who are those guys with those things on their shoulders? I don't like them. These women will get us all killed. And now you see this mentality having metastasized under this Obama maniac trying to kill the U.S. Marine Corps now. Now they're using a frontman like Gates as though it makes sense because he's saying it. It makes no sense no matter who is saying it. There are many, many reasons the Marine Corps must not be touched. Now, I'm getting excited over this for a number of reasons. I would fear this country if there was no Marine Corps. How do you like that? And I don't think that there is a political will in Congress to decimate the Marine Corps, incidentally. I think it would be suicide for any politician who voted to undermine the Marine Corps, other than Barney Frank and Charles Schumer, Barbara Boxer, Dianne Feinstein, the normal group, Barney Frank, Chris Dodd, the entire radical left would cut the Marine Corps down to nothing. They'd give them wooden guns if they could. They'd give them wooden guns if they could, and wooden bullets. But other than those radical left-wing whack jobs who are in Obama's pocket, they wouldn't touch the Marine Corps in Congress. Nevertheless, we're having this discussion because they're talking about it. And we have to say no, niet, no, 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 no. No, don't touch our Marine Corps. We all love the Marine Corps. Now, at the risk of offending your sensibilities, I have to direct you to my website, to Trickle Up Poverty, although the book is not out. I'm sorry, I feel obligated in the midst of the summer doldrum to direct you to the book right now, and I'll tell you why. I devoted an entire chapter to the military and Obama's attack on it. You see, when I say trickle up poverty, although I am predominantly talking about his economics, which have attacked the middle class and are going to do so even to a greater extent than you can imagine, I am talking about the poverty that is trickling up in all of our institutions, including the military. He is impoverishing every institution that has made the United States great. In this case, the U.S. Marine Corps. I'll be right back.
A white sport coat and a pink carnation. I'm all dressed up for the day.
One of my favorite tunes, quite evocative of my high school years. I never went to the prom, by the way. I was an outsider. I always was like kind of an outside kid. I had a lot of friends, but I was an outsider. I don't know why. I was the shortstop on the team when I played it all. But I kind of just looked in from the... I don't know, whatever. So here I am writing Trickle Up Poverty, doing a daily radio show. And, the Trickle Up Poverty book, I just want to read you what's in that chapter on the military. No longer can we be Barack Obama's sheeple and let the American dream be trampled, beaten, and burned to the ground. Okay, that's the product description. Trickle Up Poverty by best-selling author and revered radio host is your best defense against the Obamonomics that are dragging the middle class and everyone else into a Marxist socialist death spiral. The Savage Manifesto you hold in your hand shows how Obama is circumventing the Constitution to push through his radical agenda. And most importantly, how we can restore our country to the power and prestige that Barack Obama and his corrupt and degenerate czars are trying to destroy. Look, I pull no punches. So then I go into the impoverishing the middle class, how he's erasing our border with Mexico. Now here's the military. This is a whole chapter. Defunding the military and putting our troops in harm's way. Obama's beatnik policy of taking apart our nuclear arsenal and destroying NASA, while implementing PC rules of engagement that don't allow our troops to protect themselves, is dangerously weakening our security and ending our military dominance. Next chapter, lining the pockets of his Wall Street buddies, propagandizing the media, ignoring the Tea Party. And we are dangerous. Anyway, you get the picture. You go to Amazon and take a look at it. You know what I want you to do? Order a book and give it to a soldier, give it to a Marine, give it to an airman. Many of them don't have the money to buy a book. Give them a book. What if thousands of these books wound up in the military? I'd love to see Obama ban them. Wouldn't that be great? You can't buy this book. Wouldn't that be great? I mean, I'm banned in Britain. At this point, they don't want to, they don't want to take me off the list. It's their loss. What if my book became banned in America? Wouldn't that be wonderful? Wouldn't that be great? Go ahead, make my day. Ban my book. Ban my book in the military. Make my day, Mr. Gates. I'm questioning your questioning of the Marines' role in the future. Ban Trickle Up Poverty, because it's all in there.
Savage.